Welcome back to the Keep Going podcast of Vin Kennedy. I'm your host, Vin Kennedy. Today, we have a solo episode. This is the 100th episode. Gonna keep it short and brief. I have a topic to hit in mind, and we're just gonna hammer into it. I look like this because I need to shave my face, and I just ran 6 miles. So, let's dive in. We will be covering the 10 unexpected values from having a podcast. Because why not, you know? I thought this was cool. I thought this was a little unique, a little different. So let's hammer into them. Number 1 would be, I would say, community and friends. So having a podcast, you make a lot of friends through the internet, which is a weird place. And it's a weird thing to do. But it also helps you create a sense of community from like-minded individuals. Of course, every podcast is different. Different niches, different just topics and whatever. But mine specifically, self-development, you meet a lot of like-minded people and you get to kind of build out this like community within guests and friends. It's been special. It's been really, really cool. I think my whole life has kind of changed from it indirectly. And it's wild to see. Some examples would be just some of the close people I've met, like Callum Matthews, for example. I believe I saw him on TikTok, reached out to him, we became friends. Now we've hit a few runs together, a few long runs together. Just a bunch of examples of internet friends becoming real friends, and kind of like being able to either share a run or share an experience together in person, as well as the experience of kind of no technology and just person-to-person conversation, though it's through social like media and a phone. It's been really cool. It's been really cool to build it, and just something that kind of was really unexpected, because in the beginning I kind of was having people on and not really meeting anybody in person, and now I've met a lot of guests after the fact in person, and that's been really cool. Number 2 would be my vocabulary. My sister mocks me for this one. I used to not talk as intelligent. Now I talk like super intelligent, and super intelligent is like a really intelligent thing to say. But yeah, I mean, it's a silly one, but it definitely makes you formulate your thoughts way better. And then just from reading as a whole as well, I use words that I definitely wouldn't have used in the past. And it's just one of those little unexpected pieces that didn't really think would happen. The next one kind of piggybacks off of it, and it would be my ability to work through ideas in my head, and really form my own opinions. So through being able to like kind of articulate your thoughts, like even right now, for example, I just have a list of like almost 10 topics. I have very few words for each topic, and then I kind of just like formulate my own thought while I'm speaking. And the ability to do that has just made me better at conversating overall, and really like becoming firm with my own personal beliefs, because I have to think and like kind of create the structure of a sentence and just ideas. And it's been really cool. 4th, this has been probably my favorite one, which would be vulnerability and authenticity. I mean, some of these have been over an hour long. Like you can't play a facade. You can't play a facade for 100 episodes. Like this is me, and this is what you get, and the good and the bad. But something too that this has allowed is just me being a better person, showing up for people better, because I could be honest and vulnerable about my own shit. And then more authentic too. And it kind of also allows people to feel like they could relate to me, even if, again, I don't have like a massive following or any of that, but even if they don't know me directly or have had very few interactions with me or just know me through Instagram, like if you see a lot of my reels, you kind of like, you do have a really good idea of who I am. Just because I show up authentically, and I think it just helps me as a person. So it's something that I've been doing. 5, kind of put this in like 3 other ways already, but clear thoughts and sentences. Again, you're working through these things in your head. I don't have like a strict outline that I follow. I kind of like formulate my own sentences and paragraphs or whatever. Ideology is really in my head as I'm going through the episodes, and then questions pop in my head. I ask the question. Again, there's topics and questions that I shoot over to the guests beforehand, but a lot of it's just having conversation with people. 6 has been, it's definitely made me more outgoing. I often say to people, I often say in my head, like, like, I'm gonna be nervous now. I have a fucking podcast, and I don't mean that in a way like, oh my god, I have a podcast. I mean in the way of like I put myself out there. Like, now you're gonna be nervous, and I think that has also helped with community and friends because I'm just more outgoing. An example pops in my head. Talk about him almost every episode. We were just saying this, but Dan, like, I was more outgoing when I met Dan, and then like, oh yo, do you want to come to my podcast? You're run 100 miles. That's awesome. I don't know anybody that's run 100 miles yet, and just being able to like foster relationships like that, just from kind of being more outgoing, has really changed. Again, it's changed my life. Opportunities. Now, that was number 7. Opportunities. So from that, I'm talking races, friends, trips. Just from building this out, I've went to Georgia, I've went to Chicago, I've went to literally all over. I ran the Grand Canyon. Like, I'm going to TSP, the Speed Project, and it's almost from having the podcast and having the courage, really, which comes from having the podcast, to create opportunity. And it's really cool. 8 would be learning new things, and that would be from guests, and from people that I'm just kind of interested in. I have them on, I ask questions, and I learn. I think that's kind of what all of this comes down to. It's like my own form of self-development and self-growth, just like through media, really. It's been really rewarding and cool. 9 would be, this is one that I often talk about with people, and they're like, oh, I didn't even think of that. And I have a video library for right now for my nephew when he gets older, and then for future family. Like, you see still pictures of family and friends, and my family is going to have my real-time thoughts in my YouTube. And I just think it's cool. If nothing else ever comes from this podcast, I think the value in that alone would be really, really cool, for my future family. Again, if they want to sift through what's now going to be 100 episodes, go for it. And 10, one unexpected value is uninterrupted, no phone, direct communication with the guest. It's a really, really cool thing when you can kind of just sit down and have a 30-minute, hour-long conversation with someone, and there's no phone, there's no distractions. I think today, especially in like the world we're in, that's not common. So it's really, really impactful and kind of like valuable to me. And I think that's also part of why I enjoy doing it so much. And every episode isn't like the most fun. Like, when I go to sit down, like, sometimes I'm tired and I just don't feel like doing it, and then I get into the flow of conversation, and I always have a great time. So if you've been a guest, if you want to be a guest, if you whatever, I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. I understand scheduling could obviously be annoying, but anybody that's been on, anybody that comes on, anybody that listens, I really I appreciate it. Definitely I just didn't know what any of this would be, and 100 episodes in, and it's something that's kind of just been rewarding in all ways that I just did not envision it at all. It's been really cool, and I want to thank Nick. Nick puts this whole show together. Nick is the bread and butter here. Nick runs the show. I wouldn't even say I'm in the entertainment because I don't even think I'm entertaining. But yeah, just thank you all. Appreciate it. If you can, please like, subscribe, and share. And we'll be back next time. That was the 100th episode.